everyone. How's it going? Mr. Coleman here. I'm in the back of the office here at Riddle. I hope everyone is having a lovely day today. Hope you're all being kind to one another, listening to all the adults you're supposed to listen to. So I'm starting a new video series that I am calling Mr. Coleman's Community. So let's go and talk about that. Sitting in a meeting. Us adults have a lot of those around here. And I started thinking about the fact that no one gets to have field trips this year. Now, I don't know about you, but that was always one of my favorite parts of school. So I started thinking about how I could help with this problem, trying to figure out a solution within my circle of influence. So I know that I can't change the rules right now and let everyone go on field trips. However, I thought I could try to bring the field trips to you all. So I decided to find some cool people in the area and go chat with them and show you all a little bit of their lives and their jobs and what life is like in our community. So let's go meet our first friend. All right, everyone. I'm here with my friend, Officer Patterson of the Mattoon Police Department. So, Officer Patterson, I wanted to thank you for talking with me today, letting the kids get a little glimpse into your life as a police officer. So, I guess I should say we are sitting 6 feet apart.
Measured it.
We're being safe. So first of all, can you tell us kind of how you got started? What in your life brought you to this point?
Sure. Again, like you said, I'm Officer Patterson, Devin Patterson. I grew up here in Mattoon, Illinois. Born and raised. Went to high school. We went to high school together. Then went to college and wrestled in college. So whenever I went there, you have to pick out a major for the studies that you want to go, obviously, study the most. And criminal justice was the only thing that I saw that sparked my interest and that I saw myself doing. I wasn't sure exactly what avenue I was going to take because there's a lot of different ones to take. I wanted to serve a community, and I felt like I have the gifts that can help me as far as just mentally and socially. It would help a lot of different people. So I stuck with it, and here I am today.
So, what does a normal day look like for you here?
That's funny because there is no normal day.
Right.
The thing that I love about this job is every single day is different. There's similarities to almost every day, but there's no call that's the same. There's no anything. I mean. But a typical day, we'll come to the police department. There's a shift change. So the night shift for us would go down in the basement. We have a room down there, and then the day shift would come in, and then we sit and talk about the things that would have happened over the night that we might have to deal with during the day, and then we have a meeting between just our day shift, and then basically get sent to our squads and to our specific areas in town, and really just start patrolling until if and when calls for service come out. So
cool. So you said you like how it's always different. What do you feel like are the best parts about being like a police officer here?
So the good part about my job that I feel is seeing the change that it makes. And unfortunately for me, that often means I'm the bad guy. I'm the bad guy. Somebody doesn't like me, but if I have to be the bad guy to change a life, I will every day.
Awesome. That's great. So the other side of that, what do you feel like are some challenges you face? I know there's a lot.
So I kind of alluded to it already. I'm the bad guy, and sometimes that means me going and arresting them. Just living with that you're getting torn back and forth. You know you're making a difference, or you believe it, but it's hard to see that sometimes.
So shifting gears a little bit, I know a lot of times officers have partners they might work with.
Sure.
And I see you have a little picture of yours on your vest there. So can you tell our audience here what's different about your partner than a lot of partners?
So I'm one of two officers at Mattoon that my partner is an animal. It's a canine. Mine happens to be a Belgian Malinois, which is one common breed. The other one's a German Shepherd, which people are more familiar with, but they're very similar. Honestly, it's in my my personal opinion, it's the best job in law enforcement you can do. I literally have my best friend with me at all times. There's a bond there. Him and I understand each other on a completely different level. We might butt heads every once in a while, but that's totally normal, and it's needed. And at the end of the day, he comes home with me and he's my best friend. So
Awesome. So, yeah, not very many people get to take their dog to work every day.
right. Yep.
And have their dog help them. If I took
Absolutely.
my dog to work, it would be a disaster.
Yes, absolutely.
So your dog's name is
Bane.
Bane. So Bane is a villain in the Batman world.
Yes,
you know
yes,
that?
yes.
Is that what he's named
Yep,
after?
absolutely.
That's
Whenever he was young, and he still does kind of, but his snout was darker at the end.
awesome.
It kind of looked like the Bane mask.
That's like he was running a mess.
Yep.
So with a police dog, so when I see a dog in public, I'm like, well, I should go pet that dog.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
You know, and I always ask the people, can I pet your dog? And whenever I'm walking my dog, people do the same. So what might be different about a police dog than a regular dog?
Sure. So, the two dogs that are in Mattoon and most of your typical dogs that work as police dogs are trained to bite people. It's just part of what they do. It's a huge aspect of our job and their job is biting people. So, whenever you see a police dog out and out of their car, if they're working, usually what I tell people is if they're working, don't run up to them. Really don't make a whole lot of sudden movements or anything,
Right.
Because you just never know. Because they know whenever they're working and they know whenever they're not working. And part of their training is to protect. So part of his training is protect me. So we'll go through trainings where I'll have him just standing next to me, and somebody will come up and try to attack me, and he then bites them. So if you come up running up to the police dog to pet him, he might take that as a threat.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not very common, but I would caution any working dog, any working police dog that you see, make sure that you are in communication with that dog's handler before you run up and start petting.
And that's probably good advice for any dog you see is make sure
Absolutely.
you don't just run up to it.
Yeah,
right?
because you never know.
Cool. Do you guys have to go get booster training sometimes, or how does that work?
No, so really honestly, he's way smarter than me. So
Okay.
really once they learn something, it's just polishing it up, making sure it's okay.
It's important to probably for everyone to practice, right?
Absolutely.
Dogs and humans.
Yes, absolutely.
Probably especially for you guys.
Yes.
Especially if Bane's smarter than you, right?
Yes, he is.
So you mentioned before we started that we might be able to see Bane.
Absolutely.
So you want to go head out and do that?
We can do that.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so this is my partner Bane. Like we talked about. You can tell he's pretty excited. Every time we come into this room, he usually gets to do some stuff. So like I talked about. Like I talked about in the other room, obedience is a huge part of what we do. He has to listen to everything I say. So whenever he does, he gets rewarded with a toy. So whenever he's at home, he doesn't get toys. Whenever he doesn't do what I tell him to do, he doesn't get his toy. That way, it keeps him honest and keeps him wanting to do what I'm telling him to do. That way, he gets his toy. So, you notice he's already looking at me because he knows where the toy's coming from. So, we're going to do a little exercise here that pretty much just keeps him and I on the same page and keeps him listening to me. This is good for every canine handler to do on occasion, just to make sure you're on the same page with your dog. So I'll give him a couple commands. He's got to listen to those commands, and again, if he listens, he gets his toy. See it. And then he goes first. Down. So he does what I ask him to. He gets the reward. Like I said, if he doesn't do it, then he doesn't get his toy. And steady. on the same page, make sure he knows that I'm still boss. Even though he runs the show most of the time. So I'll show you another aspect of what we do. So he is trained to smell drugs. Drugs are something that people sometimes put in their body. It's really, really bad for them. It oftentimes can kill them. So we want to find that stuff and get it, and destroy that if we can. So to help us do that, we train the dogs to smell those drugs. The dogs' noses are so much better than ours that they can smell chemicals, they can smell all the different stuff in those drugs, and then they tell us where they're at. So I've actually hidden some drugs in this room right now. So I'm going to give him a command that tells him to begin to look for that scent. So he might run around like crazy, and then you guys will be able to see what he does whenever he finds that stuff. So we'll start that. So by him sitting like that, it tells me that that's where the drugs are. So then he gets paid with his toy. Now you see that this is a different toy than balls. The reason behind that is we want this one to be more fun for them. We want them to want to find drugs as hard as they can. So these ones we can actually play with them. Tug it. You love this toy so much. You won't let it go.
Alright, so, Officer Patterson, at school we talk a lot about 7 habits of highly effective people. We're going to talk about the first habit, that's being proactive. So, not just making sure you're planning ahead and doing things the way you should do it, but also knowing that you can only control yourself.
Absolutely.
So, how do you feel like that comes into play for you?
It is, in my opinion, one of the most important parts about this job. A lot of people like to believe that there's not bad out in the world, evil out in the world. So being proactive for me is going out and finding criminals before they commit crimes, or if they do commit the crime, catch them right away so they don't do it again. So whenever the proactivity rates are low, the crime rates are high, and then vice versa. Once the proactivity starts going back up, then the crime rates start going low. And there's always a victim of these crimes, which could be innocent people, could be you. You could be a victim of a crime. I could be a victim of a crime. So I feel like I owe it to you and the rest of the community to try to stop that. Right? So if I'm out, I'm being proactive, I'm looking for criminals before they commit crimes, then that's something that when I go home at night, I can look myself in the mirror and say that I did something.
So if a kid watching this decides they want to be a police officer, what do you feel like, how can they do that?
Honestly, it's pretty simple to be a police officer. At your age, don't worry about it yet. Just live your life. Just be proactive in every other aspect of your life that you can. In your schoolwork, athletics, if you choose athletics or any extracurricular activities, be proactive in that stuff. And that will carry over into everything else you do in the rest of your life. My advice is to be proactive in every aspect of your life, and everything else will fall into place.
Awesome. One more question for you. Okay. What do you feel like kids and families need to know about police officers today?
Absolutely. This is huge for myself, is that we are not bad. If we have to get somebody in trouble like a criminal, we will, absolutely. But we're here to help everybody. The community, you, anybody. So if you see one of us out and about, feel free to wave. We love it. We love waving. We love talking to kids. We just love all that. So if you have a problem, you can come to us no matter what, and we'll do everything we can to help you out. But we're not bad. We're here for you. So.
All right. Well, thank you, Officer Patterson. It's been fun. It was really cool, especially meeting Bane. Yep. I'm sure the kids will appreciate this. So thank you, and we'll talk to you sometime soon.
Anytime.
All right.
Be proactive.
All right, guys. Well, I hope you had as much fun as I did and learned as much as I did today. I want to once again thank Officer Patterson for letting me come out and chat with him. learn a little bit about what it's like to be a police officer here in town, and getting to meet Bane. That was amazing. I'll be coming back to you soon with another field trip. I'm meeting another cool person in the community, so stay tuned for that. Get all your homework done, do a little reading, be nice to each other, and we will see you soon.